Well, good morning. It's Monday, July 20th. Back on trail.
Oh, Monday.
Yeah, today's Monday. Yeah. Confused me.
I wasn't wearing my glasses.
So, as usual, no specific target for today, although the elevation profile shows that it should be a relatively easy day as far as ups and downs are concerned. And if the trail stays in good condition like it is now, we might actually be able to turn in a decent hiking day. But we'll have to see. As of right now, skies are clear blue, not a single cloud in sight. But we also know that that's likely to change later in the afternoon. And so we'll just take it day, hour by hour. In yesterday's video, I mentioned that we had hiked all day long without seeing a single hiker. So we pretty much thought we had this section of the trail to ourselves. So imagine my surprise this morning when I left our tent site and walked 50 yards down to the little creek to fill my water bottle. Lo and behold, there's another hiker standing down there doing the exact same thing. And I think we really surprised each other. She was, I think, a lot more surprised than I was, because me, not expecting to see anybody else, was wearing only this t-shirt and my underwear. So, but she was quite a friendly woman. Her name was Sue from Soldotna, Alaska, and she's out here doing a section hike from Tuolumne Meadows to the Oregon border, trying to work on completing her PCT hike that she actually started back in 2009 and had to leave at Tehachapi after she broke her foot. But at 66 years old, very spry, strong woman out here hiking a tough section of the trail by herself. So hats off to you, Sue. It was nice talking to you if you're watching this video. And I hope you were successful getting to Oregon. So, always interesting the people you meet on the trail here. Yeah, it's 11 a.m. right now, and the skies are still clear and blue up above. But I decided maybe to kind of show you guys how quickly the weather can change out here. I'm gonna take a snapshot of the sky once per hour, and kind of give you guys an idea about just how quickly it changes. Okay, time for another one of Roadkill's observations from the trail. And this time, talking about the difference between thru-hikers and backpackers. And by backpackers, I mean people who are out for anywhere from a weekend to maybe, a week-long trip. So the first thing you notice about them, the thru-hikers, the vast majority of them are carrying backpacks that are so small, you often wonder how they're able to fit even the most basic necessities inside of them. Thru-hikers tend to be obsessed with ultralight gear and minimalism, which makes sense because a lot of them are doing big miles day after day, and the less weight you carry, the farther you can walk and the less energy you expend. But even with full loads of food and water, most thru-hiker packs don't weigh more than 30 to 35 pounds. The backpackers, on the other hand, typically easy to spot because almost all of them are carrying these huge packs that are clearly overstuffed to the point that almost all of them have half their gear, it seems like, strapped on the outside of their packs. You know, sleeping bags, sleeping pads, water bottles, you know, just an assortment of stuff. And clearly they're laboring under their heavy loads. And then the other characteristic is, somewhat surprisingly, very few backpackers use trekking poles. In contrast to thru-hikers, gosh, I would say of all the thru-hikers we've seen on this trail, I've seen maybe one or two who are hiking without trekking poles. I've seen a handful that just use one pole, but easily 95% of thru-hikers use trekking poles. But backpackers, on the other hand, despite the fact that most of them are carrying a lot bigger packs with heavier loads, I would say maybe 30%, maybe even less than that, use trekking poles. Genuinely surprises me. And I don't know, I guess it's an experience thing. I mean, if you've never used them, it's not intuitive that you would want to. And I've talked to quite a few people who find that it takes a while to get used to using trekking poles. It's not natural to walk with them. But on the other hand, once you do get used to using them, you can't imagine hiking without them. So anyway, that's just an observation from the trail. It's 1:30. Stopped at this little campsite here for our lunch. The sky overhead is very dark and rumbly. Thunder, a lot of thunder. We've been getting some light sprinkles on us, but nothing heavy yet. So, whew. Keep our fingers crossed and hope we don't get drenched or hit by lightning. Well, it seems like the bulk of the storm has passed us by. We're still hearing thunder, but it's less frequent, and the rain seems to have stopped, at least temporarily. So, when I was looking around this site we stopped at, this is a regular camping site. You can see a little platform right there that's all cleared out for a tent, and where we were sitting, this is actually a platform where they've built a little fire ring down there, and a platform down below. And I realized that in a typical PCT year with many more hikers, potentially a site like this could be full in the evening. And I guess we just don't even think about that. We've been so spoiled this year that we've literally never had to worry about a campsite whenever we look for one at night. We can just look at the campsite on Gut Hook, and most times when we get there, there's nobody else there. I can't remember the last time we camped at a campsite that we had to share with another hiker. So it's a really unusual year this year. Okay, I'm not sure how well you can hear this racket, but Goldilocks was convinced that we were coming upon a Buddhist monastery or something up here in the woods from all the clanging and bells we could hear. But no, it's not. There it is, the world's dumbest animal by far. I need to make sure that I double filter my water here over the next couple of miles. I know that I complain a lot about trails, and especially when we're in the Sierras where the trails were just rough, steep, rocky, but let's give trails their due when they're actually very nice. Check out this trail we're walking through right now. I mean, nice soft dirt with some pine needle duff on it. We're actually slightly going downhill. I mean, God, even a crippled up old codger like me could do 25-mile days with no problem if the trail was like this the whole time. Yeah, look up ahead of Goldilocks there. Nice, gentle, winding dirt path. Boy. Yeah. Just skipping along the trail like no problem at all. I could get spoiled on trails like these. And while we're giving the trails their due, let's also pivot around and look at these beautiful views we have here. Nice thick forest with beautiful meadows. Wow. What a gorgeous place we're walking through right now. I'm going to try and remember this in the future when we get back into the rougher country or the less scenic country. I mean, this has definitely been one of the highlights of the trip. Okay, I don't know exactly what's going on here, but we're just walking down the trail and come on this log with 2 packets of Spam singles, and they're not even opened. They're new. I thought somebody maybe left their trash out here, but no, somebody just decided, I guess they didn't like carrying them, or maybe they just don't like the way they taste, but they stuck them on this log right beside the trail. I guess sort of like ad hoc trail magic. Huh. Well, no problem. I like Spam, so hell, I'll have them for dinner tonight. Thanks, donated person. Okay, well, it's let's see, 6:15 almost, and this is our campsite for the night. Little flat spot right here, a little closer to the trail than we usually like to camp because there's a trail right there. And down the trail about 100 yards in that little ravine is a little creek, so short walk for water. So we did another relatively easy 10-mile day today. Okay, and we're about 12 miles from Ebbets Pass, which we... 10 miles to Ebbets Pass? Yeah, 10 miles, even better. So we hope to make it there tomorrow relatively early in the afternoon because rumor has it there's been one or two people that have been doing regular trail magic there. And since we haven't had trail magic in like 3 months, it would be really cool to actually experience some. Okay, well, it's the end of the day. Goldilocks behind me making our dinner. And before I sign off, I thought maybe I'd give you a kind of a preview of what the next couple of weeks are going to look like for us, at least the way we have them planned right now. Our current plan is to go ahead and continue to hike out the rest of this section of the trail all the way to Carson Pass, which is approximately 40 miles away from here. And at that point, we are going to get off trail and go into the town of Reno, where we have a family member there who's gonna spend some time with us, just, you know, maybe like one day. And then we are going to go ahead and skip ahead. We're going to go from Reno to the town of Susanville, actually the town I grew up in and where I still have family, to visit for another day or so. And then that family member is going to take us up to Lake Almanor and put us back on the PCT. I don't know the mile marker there at outside of Lake Almanor, but it's probably a couple hundred miles up the trail from where we are right now. And as I've already alluded to in earlier videos, the reason we're doing that is because our progress up the PCT to this point has been slow enough that there's no way that we're going to be able to make it to Canada. Hell, we may not even make it to Washington before October 1st without having to skip some of the trail. So we have opted to skip the section of the trail that consists of Northern California, primarily because most PCT hikers agree that Northern California is kind of not the most exciting part of the trail. So if we skip it, we're not missing much. You know, sorry Sierra City, sorry Bernie Falls, you know, some of the cool places along the way, but those are exceptions to the rule. Now I have a family member, actually my mother, who lives in the town of Redding, which is up close to the Oregon border. So we are probably going to spend a day with her, and then from there, decide if we're going to just continue hiking straight north from that point, or maybe skip up a little farther into Oregon, so we make sure that we'll be able to have enough time to hike through Oregon and Washington before we get snowed out. And then finally, let's talk about some of the trail family that we've been hiking with over the past several months. I know a lot of you guys are interested in knowing what happened to the family, Kronk and Sacagawea. The last we heard from them a few days ago, Kronk is healing up, and currently they are planning on getting back on trail. Now, they talked about getting back on trail at the Washington border and hiking north. We're going to encourage them to maybe get back on trail a little farther south where we can link up with them and hike north as a family, like we had for the previous 500 miles. The advantage of that is Kronk recovering from an injury and having been off trail for 6 weeks. The flatter, easier terrain of Oregon might be a better way for him to kind of get back into condition before he takes on some of the more rugged mountains that Washington offers. And then our good friends, Whiskey Jack and Spitfire, they are in South Lake Tahoe as we speak, but they're getting ready. They just rented a car and they're getting ready to make a quick trip down to Las Vegas to blow whatever money they haven't spent on the trail yet, I guess, or else try to make up for the expenses they had by winning money. But after that, they are actually going to fly all the way up to Seattle. Amtrak. Oh, they're going to take the train. Take the train from Las Vegas to Seattle. Get on the PCT around Snoqualmie, which is around the middle of Washington, and start hiking north towards Canada. Now, their reasons for doing that are they are Canadian citizens, of course, and they just informed us that their Canadian health insurance expires. God, I'm at 5 minutes already? What a blabbermouth. Jesus. I better wrap this up. The Canadian health insurance is going to expire on August 15th, so they have to be back in their home country by that time. So, unfortunately, that means they're going to have to skip pretty much all of Northern California, all of Oregon, and even a portion of Washington. So, very sorry to not be able to hike with them anymore. They were a riot. We loved them. We intend to stay in contact with them after the trail, but it looks like we may not get to hike with them again. So, disappointed by that. So, all right, I need to wrap this up. You guys are probably already falling asleep listening to me blab. See you guys in the morning.